Africa is a continent of endless surprises, where the landscape stretches from golden deserts to lush rainforests, and the wildlife is a mix of mighty giants and miniature marvels. In this journey, we'll dive into some of the most insane, mind-blowing, and yes, sometimes downright humorous facts about this fascinating place. Whether you're learning about ancient civilizations, the incredible resilience of animals, or just the way life can get a bit unpredictable on the savannah, one thing's for sure, Africa is far from ordinary. Get ready to have your mind blown by the wonders of this amazing continent. Fact number one, Africa is the second largest continent on the planet, covering around 30.37 million square kilometers. That's enough space for 50 countries and counting. It's a landmass so vast you could fit China, the United States, and most of Europe inside it. Africa is like the ultimate geography test, with so many countries that even Google Maps gets exhausted trying to fit them all. It's a place where different landscapes stretch as far as the eye can see, from the deep, verdant jungles of the Congo to the golden sands of the Sahara. You could spend a lifetime traveling and still only scratch the surface of everything this continent has to offer. And let's not forget, it's so big, you might need a lifetime just to make up your mind about where to go next. Fact number two, the Sahara Desert, located in Africa, is the largest hot desert in the world. But don't let the dry, sandy surface fool you. It still supports all sorts of life. Camels, lizards, and the occasional lost tourist trying to get their Instagram desert shots are all part of the Sahara's ecosystem. It's like nature's version of a tough love survival course. Imagine trying to get through the scorching heat, only to encounter a camel with more attitude than you. Still, the Sahara is home to fascinating creatures that have learned to thrive in one of the driest places on Earth. It's one of the places on Earth where it's not just the sand that's hot. The survival skills are too. Fact number three, Africa is home to the world's longest river, the Nile. Stretching over 6,650 kilometers, it flows through 11 countries, providing water to millions of people and animals. It's basically the river equivalent of a marathon runner, but with way more wildlife cheering you on. The Nile is more than just a water source. It's a lifeline for entire civilizations. From the ancient Egyptians to modern-day communities, the river has shaped the landscape, culture, and history of Africa. It's so important that if the Nile were a country, it would be the most celebrated long-distance running lifeline on Earth. Forget hydration packs. Just give this river a round of applause. Fact number four, Africa is a linguistic goldmine, with over 2,000 languages spoken across the continent. From Swahili in East Africa to Zulu in South Africa, it's a multilingual paradise. Forget learning a new language. Africa's got entire dictionaries for you to master. The only problem? You'll never run out of ways to say hello or goodbye. With so many languages in play, you could have a different conversation every day for the rest of your life and still not cover the entire linguistic landscape. It's like being a kid in a candy store, but instead of candy, you're overwhelmed with language options that you can't pronounce. Good luck keeping up with all those greetings. Fact number five, Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania is the highest peak in Africa, standing tall at 5,895 meters. It's a dormant volcano, so no need to worry about any sudden eruptions, unless you're a fire-breathing dragon. But if you decide to climb it, be prepared for some serious altitude. You're basically walking up into the clouds, a place where the air is so thin you might start feeling like you're walking on a trampoline. Plus, you get to experience a range of ecosystems from the base to the summit, as if the mountain itself is saying, "Here, have a little bit of everything." If nothing else, it's the perfect place to test your lung capacity and your patience. Fact number six, the Congo rainforest is the second largest rainforest in the world, only behind the Amazon. Home to gorillas, elephants, and more wildlife than a National Geographic special, it's a place where every plant and animal seems to have a starring role in its own adventure movie. Too bad there's no popcorn involved. The Congo rainforest is a jungle in every sense of the word, dense, wild, and teeming with life. With thousands of species of plants and animals, it's a reminder that nature has no shortage of drama. It's a place so rich in biodiversity You might find yourself on the wrong side of the food chain if you're not careful. You don't just visit the Congo, you enter its living, breathing story. Fact number 7. Africa is the birthplace of humanity. Fossil evidence from places like Ethiopia shows that modern humans originated there around 200,000 years ago. So, we can all thank Africa for making us, well, us. It's basically the ultimate home of the original humans tour. If you're looking to trace the roots of humanity, Africa is your ancestral home, complete with fossils and a whole lot of history. It's like humanity's version of an all-inclusive resort, offering the first signs of human existence and no reservations required. Just make sure you're ready for a deep dive into human history. It's going to be a very long and fascinating journey. Fact number 8. The Great Rift Valley stretches over 6,000 kilometers from Syria to Mozambique. It's not just a geological wonder. It's like the Earth's attempt to show off its flexibility, pulling apart in the coolest way possible. Expect volcanoes, hot springs, and the occasional seismic shakeup to remind you that Earth's got some serious moves. The Great Rift Valley is essentially the Earth's way of flexing its muscles, showing off tectonic plate gymnastics, and giving us a front row seat to some of the most impressive natural phenomena. Plus, it's a fantastic place to visit if you've ever wanted to feel the Earth move beneath your feet, literally. Fact number 9. The African elephant is the largest land mammal, with adult males reaching up to 4 meters tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 6,000 kilograms. It's a pretty massive animal, but it's also known for its intelligence and strong family bonds. Seriously, this animal could outsmart most of us in a trivia contest. Not only are these gentle giants big on size, but they're also big on social skills. They live in tight-knit family units, and they can remember everything from the location of watering holes to the exact moment you last offered them a snack. It's the equivalent of being a giant with a photographic memory and a heart of gold. Fact number 10. Africa is home to the only desert-adapted elephants. Found in Namibia's Namib Desert, these elephants have special adaptations that help them survive in one of the driest places on Earth. They can travel long distances in search of water and even dig wells. It's like they're in an exclusive desert survival club, and they're the VIP members. These elephants are the masters of adapting to extreme conditions. Their feet are like built-in snowshoes, but for the desert, and their ability to find water in such a harsh environment is like nature's version of a treasure hunt. They dig wells like ancient water diviners, but way cooler. Fact number 11. The Sahara Desert, which stretches across much of North Africa, is not just a giant sandbox. It's also one of the hottest and driest places on Earth. Temperatures in the desert can reach over 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to fry an egg on the ground. But you won't find much in the way of breakfast options. Despite this extreme heat, the Sahara is home to some incredibly resilient creatures, like the fennec fox, which has big ears to keep cool and a high tolerance for sweating. These foxes probably look at humans with air-conditioned cars and think, "Nice try, but we've got this heat thing figured out." If you're ever thinking about visiting, pack a whole lot of water, sunscreen, and maybe a fan just to be on the safe side. Fact number 12. Africa has more than 1,000 languages and over 2,000 dialects, making it one of the most linguistically diverse places on Earth. In some countries, you can walk across the street and hear a completely different language being spoken. It's like a constant language swap meet. The diversity is so rich that you could spend a lifetime learning them and still not be able to ask for directions in every dialect. And for those who are trying to learn, it's basically the ultimate challenge. Oh, I'm learning 15 languages this year. No big deal. It's like having a different word for hello in every corner of the continent. So no matter where you go, you'll have something new to say. Fact number 13. Africa is home to the world's largest migration of land mammals. The annual migration of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles across the Serengeti. Every year, around 1.5 million wildebeest and hundreds of thousands of other animals embark on a dangerous and dramatic journey to find fresh grass and water. It's like nature's version of a road trip, but with way more drama and fewer bathroom breaks. You'd think these creatures would have a GPS by now, but instead, they rely on instinct and timing to navigate the wilds of Africa. During the migration, they face predators, crocodiles, and the inevitable mid-trip food cravings. Imagine doing a road trip with no snacks, but there are lions trying to get your attention the whole way. That's the Serengeti's annual event for you. Fact number 14. The African lion, a symbol of power and majesty, has roamed the continent for thousands of years, but today they only inhabit about 8% of their historical range. In fact, lions are now endangered in some parts of Africa, and conservation efforts are crucial to ensure they don't disappear from the wild altogether. These kings of the jungle need our help. So next time you see a lion, think of them like a royal endangered celebrity. They're not just big cats with impressive manes. They're part of the continent's wildlife legacy and deserve a standing ovation, or at least an appreciation post. It's a reminder that even the mightiest animals can use a little help from their human friends. Fact number 15. Africa is the birthplace of coffee. The coffee plant, known scientifically as coffea, was first discovered in Ethiopia, and the famous coffee bean has been fueling productivity and caffeine addictions worldwide ever since. Legend has it that a goat herder named Kaldi noticed that his goats became especially energetic after eating the cherries from a certain tree, which led to the discovery of coffee's energizing properties. So next time you're sipping your latte, thank Kaldi and his hyperactive goats for getting the ball rolling. You can say, "I owe this cup of coffee to a bunch of very caffeinated goats." As for Kaldi, he probably never knew that his goats would have such a global impact. Fact number 16. The African elephant is one of the smartest animals on the planet, with an incredible memory and a strong sense of family. They are known to recognize other elephants, even after many years of separation, and they have been observed using tools to solve problems. It's almost like they're the professors of the animal kingdom, with a degree in memory retention and problem solving. Their memory is so good that it would probably put your New Year's resolution list to shame. Plus, their social structure is deeply rooted in family, with matriarchs leading the herd and teaching younger elephants essential survival skills. So, if you ever find yourself lost in the wild, just hope an elephant happens to be around. They've probably memorized every rock and tree in the area, and they might just help you out with directions. Fact number 17. Lake Victoria, located in East Africa, is the largest tropical lake in the world and the second largest freshwater lake overall. It is shared by 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, and plays a crucial role in supporting millions of people who rely on its waters for fishing, transportation, and agriculture. It's also home to thousands of species of fish, including the famous Nile perch, which has become an invasive species in the lake. If Lake Victoria were a celebrity, it would probably have its own reality show, with drama between countries, fish that refuse to get along, and the important task of feeding millions. It's a waterway that deserves a standing ovation for all its hard work. Fact number 18. Africa is the only continent that is crossed by both the equator and a tropic, the Tropic of Cancer in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. This means that Africa is perfectly situated between the hottest areas of the planet. And depending on where you are, it can feel like the ultimate mix of heat waves and tropical breezes. It's like the planet's perfect sunny spot for people who love heat, but not too much. With one foot in the tropics and the other in the equator, it's no wonder Africa's weather can feel like an extreme sport. Fact number 19. The Okavango Delta, located in Botswana, is one of the largest inland deltas in the world and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's like the Disney World of African wildlife, filled with exotic animals like elephants, lions, and hippos. The delta floods seasonally, creating a unique ecosystem that attracts millions of animals. But be careful when visiting. The animals are the VIP guests, and you're just there for the ride. You might see a lion on a safari, but you're not the one in charge. It's nature's idea of a water park, but with fewer slides and more animals that could eat you if you're not careful. Fact number 20. Africa is home to some of the world's most diverse wildlife, including the Big Five: lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, and rhinoceros. These animals are the rock stars of the continent, with each one more iconic than the last. You don't need a concert ticket to see them in action, just a safari and a camera, preferably with a zoom lens. The Big Five are often considered the ultimate animals to see on safari, and spotting them is like checking off a wildlife bucket list. But here's the twist. It's not just about seeing them, it's about seeing them in action. Whether they're hunting, eating, or taking a nap, you're guaranteed a front row seat to nature's greatest hits. Fact number 21. Africa is home to the largest living land animal, the African elephant. These magnificent creatures can weigh up to 6,000 kilograms, around 13,000 pounds, and are taller than most humans, meaning they could easily challenge the height requirement for roller coasters. They also have a highly complex social structure, led by matriarchs who are essentially the grandmothers of the group. Picture a family reunion with these gentle giants, where the grandma is in charge of making the big decisions, like when to take a bath in the river or how to scare off predators. And when they get together to talk, they use low-frequency rumbles that can travel miles, so don't even think about skipping a family gathering. Fact number 22. The Sahara Desert, often thought of as just a vast expanse of sand, is also home to some of the most fascinating creatures and plants that have adapted to this extreme environment. For instance, the Saharan silver ant holds the record for the world's hottest temperature ever recorded in the wild, at a scorching 158 degrees Fahrenheit 70 degrees Celsius. These little guys don't sweat it. They've developed heat-resistant adaptations that allow them to thrive in conditions that would melt most other creatures. Imagine being that tough. I mean, it's like the superhero of the ant world. So, while the Sahara is mostly sand and heat, it's also a place where life is constantly finding ways to survive, sometimes with superpowers we didn't even know existed. Fact number 23. Africa is home to the world's longest river, the Nile. Stretching over 4,135 miles, 6,650 kilometers. It flows through 11 countries and is crucial to the livelihood of millions. This river has been around for over 30 million years, and if it could talk, it'd probably have some wild stories to tell, especially about the ancient Egyptians who relied on it for everything from transportation to irrigation. In fact, Egypt's entire civilization was built along its banks. The Nile is like the original highway, long before cars. And if you were an Egyptian pharaoh, you could think of it as the ultimate Uber service for getting around. Fact number 24. The Congo rainforest, located in Central Africa, is the second largest rainforest in the world, after the Amazon. It's home to some of the planet's most rare and endangered species, including the elusive okapi, a zebra-like creature with a giraffe's neck and a very confusing wardrobe. The rainforest covers about 1.7 million square miles and serves as the lungs of the Earth, helping to regulate the global climate. It's like the planet's gigantic air purifier, except it's filled with enormous trees, snakes that could scare the pants off you, and enough wildlife to make any nature documentary host faint from excitement. Fact number 25. Africa has more than 1,000 languages spoken across its many nations, making it the most linguistically diverse continent. Some languages, like Khoisan, use clicks that sound like a strange mix of a game of hopscotch and Morse code. Learning to speak these languages is like acquiring a superpower. It takes dedication, but imagine impressing everyone at a party when you casually toss in a click. Many languages also come with rich oral traditions. So when you're telling a story, don't be surprised if it turns into a 3-day event. Imagine your average Netflix binge, but in a few languages and without the snacks. Fact number 26. Africa is home to the world's largest hot desert, the Sahara. But here's the twist. It wasn't always a desert. About 10,000 years ago, the Sahara was actually a lush, green region with lakes and rivers. Fast forward to today, and you'll find a landscape that looks more like Mars than a place you'd expect to find a relaxing beach holiday. If you were a prehistoric person, you'd be trying to figure out how to get from the beach to the nearest lake. But now, you're more likely to get lost in a sea of sand. The Sahara's transformation into the dry expanse it is today is one of the planet's greatest climate mysteries. So, if you're into extreme challenges and time travel, the Sahara is the place for you. Fact number 27. The Great Rift Valley, stretching over 4,000 miles, 6,400 kilometers, from the Middle East to Mozambique in Southeast Africa, is like Earth's giant scar. It's home to volcanic activity, hot springs, and some of the most ancient human fossils ever discovered. You know how sometimes you get that feeling that the world is shaking? That might actually be the Earth trying to figure out how it's going to divide itself into more continents. The Rift Valley is still spreading apart, and who knows, one day, it might break into more separate pieces like a jigsaw puzzle no one asked for. It's definitely the place for anyone who loves geology and a bit of drama. Fact number 28. The African buffalo is considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa, and for a good reason. They're not just your average peaceful herbivore. They are tough, unpredictable, and not afraid to charge if you get too close. These animals can run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, and they've been known to take down lions. Yep, you read that right. A buffalo can look at a lion and say, "You want to take this outside?" It's a reminder that in the wild, even the most unsuspecting creatures can have a little more edge than we give them credit for. So, if you ever meet one, maybe don't wave. Just a suggestion. Fact number 29. Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania is the tallest mountain in Africa, standing at a staggering 19,341 feet, 5,895 meters above sea level. What makes this mountain extra special is that it's a freestanding mountain, meaning it wasn't part of a mountain range. It's like the lone wolf of mountains, just hanging out by itself, but with a great view. Kilimanjaro also has 3 volcanic cones, which is probably why it looks like a giant snow-capped cake you want to climb. The mountain is so high that it has several climate zones, from tropical rainforests at the bottom to icy glaciers at the top. So if you decide to climb it, you might need to pack a few extra layers and maybe some sunscreen. Just in case it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius at the base and snowing at the summit. Fact number 30. Africa is home to some of the world's largest and most incredible animals, but also to some of the tiniest, like the pygmy shrew. These little guys can weigh less than a coin, but don't let their size fool you. They're incredibly fast and can eat up to 1.5 times their body weight in food every day. It's like they're running on pure energy and caffeine. They've got the whole small but mighty thing down, and while they might not look like a classic superhero, they definitely make up for it in speed and efficiency. And there you have it, 30 insane facts that prove Africa is not just a place. It's an adventure. From colossal elephants to minuscule shrews, and from endless deserts to towering mountains, Africa is a land of extremes, both in beauty and in the wildness of its stories. Whether you're planning a trip, brushing up on your trivia, or simply looking for something to impress at your next dinner party, you now have a treasure trove of Africa's awesomeness at your fingertips. Keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, Africa is full of surprises, and there's always more to learn.